Now to talk more about his partner Diezel, one of our dogs we featured in that story, Douglas County Deputy Andy Woodward. Andy, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about Diezel, who is also joining us today.
Well, Diezel's a 6-year-old Belgian Malinois. Diezel and I have been partners for a little over 3 years now, and our primary job that we do is interdiction. On top of like 911 calls and stuff like that.
And in the story, Diezel was the fine-looking canine wearing the T-shirt, and you can kind of see there that he has a scar. What happened?
Yeah, they found a lump on Diezel's side. The vet was concerned about it, so just for precautionary reasons, they wanted to remove the lump, do a biopsy on it. Everything came back benign, so everything was good with him.
Great news there. So he is one of the guys that's on the street keeping us safe. What is it that canine officers can do that makes them exceptional, that makes them so important to the force?
You know, it's just like having another deputy inside the vehicle or another officer inside the vehicle. Instead of having a two-man car, Diezel and I patrol together. There's 6 of us in our canine division, so each one of us would be able to go out and do a special type of job that some other officers just can't do. You know, the speed of the dog, the nose, things that they can smell, and there's just a rare thing in the job that dogs can do that just a human wouldn't be able to do. Yeah,
we got a lot of good response to our story we did, which we love to hear. We also got a lot of questions from people about, you know, why these dogs are necessary. Why do taxpayer dollars pay for canine officers as well as for regular officers? What would you tell them?
First off, not a penny of the tax dollar goes towards anything in our canine division. Like I said, we patrol the interstate mainly. We do the interdiction where we're looking for major criminal activity on the interstate. Some of that entails the narcotics, the cash seizures, weapons and stuff like that. And so basically a lot of that money, well, not a lot of it, all that money is put right back into the upkeep. First off, the purchase of the dog, but then also the upkeep for the dog also. So that right there is there's no tax dollar whatsoever spent on that. So the other thing is that as much as I love my partner and I love being with my dog, I would rather send in Diezel on a dangerous situation instead of putting an officer's life at risk. That's one thing that would be extremely unique about having the dog, is that if it's something that we need to send the dog in, that's Diezel's job, is to go in and protect not only myself but the deputies or the officers that are around us.
Now, right now, he is adorable. He was one of the most popular guys in the newsroom when you brought him in, but I imagine that in a tense situation, when he's doing his job, how effective is he?
Very effective. And the biggest thing with Diezel is that Diezel goes off commands. He goes off of what I say. So, you know, you guys have seen him out here playful and stuff like that, but you're also seeing that he was kind of looking around. He's at attention. He knows that when I'm in uniform that it's work time. So, you know, the difference between being at home and being around the family versus being at work inside, you know, in the uniform and stuff like that, completely different.
But he can just turn it off and be a family pup with your boys, as we saw there too.
Right, yeah. Once he comes out of the cruiser and I take the uniform off and just get in my street clothes, he knows, all right, we're at home, it's just family time. But he knows that when it's time to go to work, you know, we go out to the cruiser and he sits at the cruiser and he knows it's work time. You know, the funny little story I like to tell is if I meet my wife for lunch at some time, she'll go over and he won't even look at her, and he's like, we're working right now, well, I'll see you at home. So.
Is there a case you can recall that really stands out, a big drug bust or a suspect he helped track down that will always stand out to you?
We had a couple things. You know, the biggest thing is that what we can do is like I said, if an officer needs assistance or a deputy, it's nice that we're called out. We love being, anybody in our unit would love being the first one on the scene to make sure that for officer safety. But we have, you know, several drug seizures. We have quite a few captures. We had last November where we caught a couple suspects with a bunch of credit cards, and it ends up there were like thousands of victims that we'd found on these credit cards, it was a pretty big case for us, although it wasn't a narcotic related, it was the interdiction related. It's kind of one of our highlights.
Sure.
You know.
Does the demeanor of a suspect immediately change from when they're just dealing with you or another deputy, and then you bring out Diezel and they, back down a little bit? You know,
we never do that to do anything to intimidate anybody like that at all. A lot of times, for safety, we'll bring people back to our cruiser. Like I said, on the interstate, you know, people doing 60+ miles an hour on the interstate, we like to bring people back to our car for safety reasons, and it's just funny that it's not like the old German Shepherds, they used to bark all the time. They're pretty relaxed in the car, and so when they hear a dog sniffing, you see them kind of jump and go, oh my gosh, you know. It startles them at first, and like, oh man, you know, I didn't even know your dog was back there. He was just so quiet. So it's kind of funny when you see that reaction.
Great. Well, we're going to continue this after just a short break, and when we come back, Diezel is going to show us some of his moves, what makes him so good at his job, and how highly trained he is.